Hello everyone, it's Moxxi from Proguides here, bringing you the top 4 roles of the current meta. We'll discuss what makes these heroes good, how to play them, and how to counter them. But before we do that, here's the question of the day. Why is Pudge not on this list? Did Jenkins write this question of the day? Now without further ado, let's get straight into the video. In the current meta, there are plenty of popular heroes that are able to provide setup for SKYWRATH in order to guarantee a kill, such as Ember or Void Spirit, Faceless Void, or Legion Commander. On top of comboing with the current meta heroes, Sky is able to counter these popular heroes, especially once he acquires a Rod of Atos. Starting from level 1, it's nice to go Concussive Shot in order to deal a decent amount of damage while providing auto attacks, while also being able to run away from any slowed target running at you. The starting items you get provide you with the stats that you need in order to sustain while harassing the enemy. Send out mana and HP regen as necessary, or you can suicide to the tower if you want to use all your spells to deal the most damage before coming back with full resources. Sparingly use your Arcane Bolt. The main harasser spell is Concussive Shot, and save Arcane Bolt and Ancient Seal for when enemies are close to dying around a quarter of half their health. This is to conserve mana. The cycle of harassment with your slow and auto attacks with the occasional silence and/or Arcane Bolt is repeated throughout the laning phase, other than the occasional rotations to secure bounty runes or power runes. After the laning phase, you stick with your comboing core. Never leave their side, ever. Always be there to combo with them to get kills. This will create disgusting pressure for the enemies. Once you've acquired a Rod of Atos, you're able to solo their cores and are a core yourself. Then get a Blink Dagger to be able to position easier for comboing with your cores. It's important in teamfights to go after Sky first because he is squishy, but that will create chaos for your team if left unchecked. Sky is susceptible to initiators such as Earth Spirit because he doesn't have mobility or any saving spells to save either himself or his teammates from getting focused. Sky also doesn't hold towers very well because he just doesn't have good wave clear. Tiny has an instant stun because there's no longer a 0.5 second delay. His toss stun lasts longer, his base health regen went up, and he's no longer slowed by tree grab. Not to mention his toss and avalanche combo will nearly one-shot any hero in the game. Tiny needs to be level 2 before he can start to be useful. The first few creep waves are very important for Tiny to be able to drag because otherwise he's useless. In order to effectively get to level 2, purchase Boots of Speed and get level 1 in Toss and aggro the creep wave slightly behind the enemy's tier 1 tower. Then toss any enemy away from you by tossing them onto another hero or nearby creeps, and then proceed to block the small neutral camp so they can't pull. Then drag the enemy creep wave safely between your tier 1 and tier 2 tower. Repeat this if you are still not yet doing enough damage with your combo, or don't have enough mana. Be sure to help secure power runes or bounty runes, or both for your mid laner, while also looking to see if you can gank the enemy mid laner. Make sure to send out clarities because you'll need the regen for the amount of toss and avalanche combos you'll be doing. The ideal scenario for Tiny in the laning phase is to set up his team for success via roaming so that you can eventually take safe farm in order to get your Blink Dagger. In the mid to late game, after acquiring Blink Dagger, it's your job to blow up the enemy supports, preferably whichever is the more threatening support for your cores. After that, you're able to go for the other support or cores when your combos back up, and whoever your team is able to focus as a result of you blowing up one of the supports at the beginning. Getting a 4's staff after your Blink Dagger will help you able to combo, back off, then come back in again when your combo's on cooldown again. Tiny's whole deal is wiping out enemies with his one combo. He becomes useless when he doesn't have the combo up. So a good way against playing Tiny is buying items to survive his whole combo. These items can be bracers, raindrops, and even a cloak for added magical resistance. One of the better aspects of RUBICK is that he's capable of stealing spells, but doing them better. In this patch, there are numerous spells that RUBICK can elegantly use to give his team the upper hand, particularly in teamfights such as Sven's Stormhammer. RUBICKs mostly want to chill in the early levels. Ideally, you auto-attack the enemies when you have Fade Bolt either ready to use or have the debuff on the enemies. Early boosts help you achieve some decent harass in the laning phase. Gently harass the enemies when you have Fade Bolt up with no auto attacks, and pull the hard neutral camp to pull the lane back into your favor when it's pushed up too far. Be sure to help contest the power rune for your mid laner as well. Fun begins though when you're able to use your ulti. Once you get your ulti, play for the backlines. It's easier to find the correct spell to steal if you're playing behind your teammates rather than in front. With that in mind, don't wait forever in order to steal a spell. You can change the pace of the fight with a well-timed telekinesis. Waiting in the back lines lets you assess whether it's better to lift a target or steal a spell. When you're looking to spell steal, you ideally want to be standing back and baiting your team. So when an enemy Sand King uses Burrow Strike on your teammates, this is an ideal spell steal time because you can counter-initiate with stolen Burrow Strike on the excited enemies that want to slay your team. Looking to use telekinesis if a core is out of position is not worth your time to wait to use spell steal in this situation. Use lift to get a practically guaranteed core kill. Do both like Apsor. Abuse the fact that RUBICK players like hiding in the back lines. RUBICK is vulnerable to most cores because RUBICK likes acquiring Aether Lens before getting a safe item such as Glimmer Cape. Be sure to look for RUBICK first in fights. Also, be fast with the spell pressing. Make sure to spam a spell after using your ultimate and get Force Stave so that a lifted target can be forced back to safety. Windranger is a great complement to many popular meta heroes such as Mars, Faceless Void, Sven, and Void Spirit. These heroes provide great setup for Windranger Shackle Shot into Power Shot combo. For added lockdown, Windranger can get a Meteor Hammer to pretty much guarantee a kill on any hero that gets shackled. MKB is also a great item of which Windranger loves to build. In the early levels, nothing too exciting occurs. Be annoying with Windrun by auto-attacking heroes, and then use Windrun when they try to hit you. Back off while waiting for Windrun to come off cooldown again so that the enemy core or support can't harass you for free. Getting a Blightstone makes it so your auto attacks hit quite hard. Once you get Power Shot, you can use the spell to secure ranged last hits and damage the enemy core when he tries to go for them. Keep this pressure up in the lane you are occupying, then in the mid to late game, you're more free to set up kills for your core with Shackle Shot. You can also defend towers safely with the long range of Power Shot, and once you get a Meteor Hammer, you want to stick with the core that you can combo with, such as Sand King. Having a way of purging off Windranger's Windrun will make her way less impactful, such as Invoker's Tornado or a Eul's. Having a Blade Mail will make Windranger unhappy as well because she won't be able to effectively use Focus Fire on you without damaging herself. And of course, having a purge against her long lockdown will hurt her effectiveness as well, such as Legion Commander's Press the Attack. Thanks so much for watching this video about the better 4 roles of the patch. I appreciate you taking the time to watch why these heroes are good, how they're played, and how to play against them. I hope this helps you gain plenty of MMR, and I hope to see you in another video.